Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be starting yet another reading vlog for you guys. It has been a couple of weeks since I filmed a reading vlog, so I feel a little bit out of practice almost, but I'm very excited to get back into doing them for you guys because I have quite a few fun books that I want to read. This is going to be kind of like a weekend reading vlog kind of thing, but I do still have quite the TBR for this like shorter span of time. So we're gonna see how that goes. But actually, before I get into showing you guys my TBR, I do want to open a couple of packages. One of which is incredibly exciting, and obviously I wanted to wait to open it on camera with you guys. So I've had this for a couple days. It's been sitting, staring at me, but I was like, no, I can't open it until I film a vlog. So like that's the first thing we need to do today is to open this package, and then I'll get into reading plans and whatnot. So yes, I need something to cover this with. A little bit of a reading plan reveal, but look who it's from. I truly can't believe that I'm holding this in my hands. So let's just open it, you know? I got my scissors for once I'm prepared. We open it. Just lovely black, whatever. I don't even know what you'd call this. Not that it matters. There's also a little letter in here which I'm not going to read to you because there's so many. I don't even know. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. Ta-da. Oh my god. Oh wow. Wow. Truly, who am I? I never in a million years thought I would actually be holding one of these. So yeah. I like don't know what to do with myself now. Oh my god, this is crazy. Also, I don't know how I feel about this mirror. It's also distorting my face a little bit and it looks funny. But yes. Little, what do they call this? The creator plaque, creator award for hitting 100,000 subscribers, obviously. There we go. There's you guys. Say hi. I feel like everybody does that, but oh, I love it. I love it so much, and I cannot wait to put it on my wall. I already have a spot for it. I'm gonna hang it up after this update. Like, obviously, I've known it's been coming because I ordered it, but like actually holding it in my hands, many feelings. Like, honestly, I look at this and like, it doesn't even feel real. So yeah, thank you again. Literally so much for 100K. I feel like I've said it so many times, but I'm never gonna stop saying it because truly me having this is all thanks to you guys. So just thank you so much. Yeah, just thank you so much. Oh my god. Okay, I need to stop just like saying random words, honestly, because it's not helpful. But yes, this is like the most exciting thing. I've been waiting to unbox this. I've had this for about 2 days now, but the wait has been killing me. But it would feel wrong to like not unbox it with you guys because you guys truly are the only reason why I have this. But yeah, thank you guys for being here, for all your support. I appreciate you all immensely. So yeah. Okay, we'll just put her there and I'll freak out about it a little bit more on my own time. Anyway, you know, I also have something that pales in comparison really, but I do have a book mail. What am I trying to say? A book mail. There we go. Sorry, I'm a bit frazzled. But I figured since we're unboxing things, I'll just open this now too, because I am very excited about this. Obviously it kind of pales in comparison to that, but you know, this will be fun too. Oh, it's so freaking cute. I'm so excited. So I don't remember, I think it might have been Kirsten who I saw talk about this book, but it's called We'll Prescribe You a Cat by Shu Ishida. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. But really it was the cover that I absolutely loved. This is the UK cover, and like it's all these cats coming out of this prescription bottle. And truly, I did not look at the synopsis. I have no clue what this book is about. But I feel like I would really enjoy a lot of the like cat-centric books that are translated from Japanese. I've just never read one before. And the cover of this one was just so cute. I knew I had to get it. Maybe, let me see what it's about and then I'll let you know. Oh, it's got little, oh my god, oh my god, that's so cool. Hang on. Okay, I don't know how to properly show this to you, but it's like one of the, like, there are cats on the sides of the pages. God, and this is gonna be, that is so cool. Maybe I'm just easily entertained, but I love that so much. Oh no, it literally is just a book where there's this clinic that will prescribe you cats. says, brimming with feline comfort and warmth, We'll Prescribe You a Cat shows how the precious company of a wise and satisfied cat never fails to rescue us when we're most in need. Oh my god, that's so cute. I definitely go bother my cats whenever I'm feeling down, so this just feels like the perfect kind of book to read. So yeah, I also have this little bit of book mail. I'm very excited about it. Also, I just love the cover. It's so cute. Anyway. Moving on from the couple of unboxings that I truly needed to do in the beginning of this video, should we talk reading plans for this weekend? Because I do have quite a few. It's currently Friday morning. I'm probably gonna film this vlog for like 4 or 5 days. So I don't know if I'm gonna get through all the books that I wanna read in this little stack here, but we'll see. The first one I'm actually in the middle of, and I'll talk about it a little bit more after I go through the entire TBR, but I am going to be reading Rewitched by Lucy Jane Wood. Initially, I was thinking maybe I would save this one until next October because it is a witchy book that takes place in October, and I did not get to it this October. But I'm thinking, you know, it's still like an autumnal kind of cozy read. There's no real like Halloween vibes to it, so far at least, because I have started this book. So I figured why not just go ahead and read it now? It'll be fine. And I'm really, really loving this one so far, but I will talk about it more in a moment. I'll give you initial thoughts and whatnot, but I'm gonna be reading this one for sure, definitely finishing it this weekend. And then the other book that I really want to finish this weekend is The Scholar and the Last Fairy Door by H.G. Perry. I have been very highly anticipating this release. I believe it came out in late October. Obviously, the title drew me in because it definitely sounds like a book that I would really enjoy reading. Like anything that has to do with the study of fae or the study of just magical creatures in general, I'm typically going to be into, and that's maybe what this one sounds like. I believe our main character Clover goes to England's secret magical academy, and it takes place in the 1920s, and there's fairy doors, so very excited to get into this one. I have read one other book by H.G. Perry, and I really enjoyed the writing of that one. The plot wasn't my favorite, but like I think the plot of this one is going to be something that I really enjoy, so pairing that with the writing and the vibes, I think it's gonna be good. And then the last book that I want to read is a book that I've been wanting to read for quite a while. I'm sure you guys know, but I'm still on my quest to find my 5-star T. Kingfisher book. I feel like I've tried so many books from her, and I haven't like absolutely loved any of them, but this is a book that I've heard many, many good things about. I think it probably seems like it's the most up my alley out of all of her books, so I don't know why I haven't picked it up yet. And that is Sword Heart. I believe this is more of a fantasy romance leaning kind of story. Also, after reading A Sorceress Comes to Call, I kind of am thinking I should try longer works from T. Kingfisher as opposed to like her novella length works. So, you know, this one's kind of long. It's like 400 pages. So I feel like maybe I'll really like this one. I've heard a lot of good things about it. A lot of people really love it. I also think it's getting traditionally published early next year, and the cover is very stunning. So this is a library copy, but if I like it, I probably will pick up like the actual one because ooh, the cover is so beautiful. But honestly, I don't know much about this book. I've just heard a lot of people say they like it, so I'm just gonna go into it and be surprised. So these are kind of my 3 reading plans for the weekend. Again, 3 books in 4 days. I don't know how that's gonna go, but also I am in a reading mood. I feel like I haven't done a lot of reading so far this month. Like it's currently the 8th and I haven't finished a single book, so I'm gonna remedy that this weekend and I'm gonna do some fun reading. I'm finally done with like all of my more spooky reading that I was doing in October, and I can get back to basics, you know, like back to reading the fantasy things that I love. Not that I don't love the spooky and atmospheric autumnal kind of books that I read in October, but these are definitely my bread and butter, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's the TBR. Very excited. But let me talk a little bit more about Rewitched because as I said earlier, I'm really, really loving this one so far. I started it yesterday and I've just been having a really good time with it. I'm currently on page 128, so I think I'm like a third of the way through it maybe. And oh my god, this book is so incredibly cozy. I really enjoy our main character Belle already. I just love the vibes of it, you know? So basically, we are following our main character Belle, who is a witch, and she's about to turn 30. And when a witch turns 30, she has to go through this thing called the Equi-Witch Trial? I don't exactly know how you would pronounce it. Equi-Witch? That feels wrong. But like that's how it's spelled, so I don't know. Which is basically a trial where she goes in front of the coven and they decide if she's been using her magic well the last 15 years, basically. And if they deem that she hasn't, they will strip her of all of her powers, basically. But the main problem that this is presenting for Belle is the fact that she didn't know these trials were a thing because nobody is allowed to tell her that these trials are coming up. And she definitely has a very complicated relationship with magic. She uses it for a lot of small things in her life, but she doesn't really feel like she's done anything substantial with it. And she's also not really sure how she would have done something substantial with it. So the beginning of this book is kind of following her as she is going through this trial. She's meeting a lot of people in the coven that she's never met before. Some of them are certainly nicer than other people. But, you know, it's not really looking good for Belle so far, but I'm thinking they're going to give her another chance to kind of prove that she can keep her magic. So I think that's kind of what the rest of the book is going to focus on, which I think is a really cool concept that I haven't really seen done in a witchy book before, but I feel like I'm going to really enjoy how all of that plays out. So that's all well and good. I love the plot, but there are so many other things in this book that I love as well, such as the setting, because our main character Belle works in this small little bookstore called Lunar Books, and she's the manager there, and honestly the bookstore sounds so cozy. The only problem is that the woman that owns the bookstore offered to sell it to Belle, but she's just not really thinking she's ready for that yet, so the woman allowed her son to kind of come in and take over things. And he sucks, basically. So I think another kind of big part of this book is going to be Belle realizing that she needs to just try and take the next step in her life and not be so afraid of everything and like what the outcome could possibly be. But then I think my favorite, like my top favorite thing about this book is the way that Belle uses magic, because obviously she's not doing like these big grand spells and saving the world or whatever, but she uses it more in very small ways in her day-to-day life, and kind of just seeing the different things that she does with it I've really loved, such as using it to help her pick an outfit in the morning, or using it to like levitate a teacup over to her while she's on the couch. It's just a bunch of small things that I think really add to the like witchy, cozy kind of ambiance this book has going on. And I also think that is going to factor into her trial later on as well. It's gonna be like, oh my god, it was, you know, in the small things the whole time, like that kind of thing, which I like that as well. So overall, big fan of this book so far. I definitely want to read a lot of this today just because I really want to get back into it. I'm also wondering if there is gonna be a bit of a romance to it, because there is this, you know, like mysterious, brooding witch guy who, you know, kind of antagonizes her a little bit, but in a flirty way, which I can certainly get into. So just like the amalgamation of everything that's going on in this book, I'm loving so far. I feel like I've seen a lot of people pick this up and they've also been loving it. So I had pretty high expectations going into this one, and I would certainly say that it is meeting them so far, which is very exciting. So definitely plan to read some more of this morning probably, just because I would really like to. So yeah, it's kind of an update on Rewitched. As for my plans for the weekend, I don't really have a lot of plans for the weekend. It's gonna be pretty chill. I think I'm just going to obviously do a lot of reading. I am going to do my November journaling setup. As I said, it's currently the 8th of November and I still haven't done it yet, which is a crime, honestly. Although I haven't finished a book, so I haven't really had a reason to use it yet. But hopefully I'll finish a book in this vlog. Theoretically, that should happen, you know? So I'm gonna do that. I'm probably gonna make it Over the Garden Wall themed again, even though my one from last year in November is also Over the Garden Wall themed, but I'm a creature of habit and I want to make it Over the Garden Wall themed, so I'm gonna do it again. I'm also gonna finish up my rewatch of it with Cass later this month, so all the more reason to make that my theme for the month. But I think that's kind of everything that I want to do this weekend. We'll see what other things I potentially get up to, but a lot of reading should certainly commence in this vlog. Also, the weather I think is gonna be kind of stunning this weekend as well, because I think it's supposed to be kind of rainy tomorrow. It's certainly very gloomy today. I think it's supposed to rain tonight maybe, which will be really nice. I just thrive in the rainy weather. I love it so much. It's been very rainy here the first like entire week of November, and I've been living. Like, just something about the rain is just so cozy. I hate a sunny day. Like, I'm not into it, but like if it's gloomy, if it's raining, that is when I'm at my peak happiness, peak serotonin levels, you know? So I'm just very happy that the weather is going to be nice to me this weekend. So I think that's everything. This intro is so long and I'm so sorry, but it's been so long since I've like filmed an update. Maybe I'm just rambly today as well. I don't know, but yes. Anyway, plans for this morning specifically, I'm gonna hang up my plaque. And I'm going to read some of Rewitched. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoy the vlog. I hope you're all having a stunning Monday so far, and let's get into it. A Sunday morning. I did not end up filming anything yesterday just because I did a bunch of reading sprints with my patrons, then took a nap, then before I knew it, it was like 7 p.m. So no filming happened yesterday, but I do have quite a few updates for you this morning because I got something in the mail, finished a book, started a book, picked something up from the library. We've got a lot of things to chat about this morning, so let's just get into it. This might be kind of a long update, but that's okay. First of all, let me show you the thing that I got in the mail because I think I'm the most excited about this. This is certainly something I did not need in the slightest, but I was watching one of Jodie's vlogs recently and I saw she had one of these and I honed in on it. I was like, I don't know where it's from. I don't know how much it is, but I need it. So I tracked it down and it is this Twilight mug. Like, I just love it so much. Like the collage, the stripy handle, it's also got little bats on the inside. It's so cute. I was so excited about it. This is from Millie's Pottery, if any of you want to know. I love it so dearly, and I cannot wait to have a beverage out of here, you know? Like, I know I already made some hot chocolate, 2 days ago, and like, I filmed it, but I don't know, I might have to do it again in this vlog just so I can like showcase my beautiful new mug that I have. Maybe it'll be a bit redundant. Who knows? But I probably will. I can't lie. Because I want to use it. I got it yesterday, last night, and I still haven't used it yet, but I need to, so. Anyway, that's just small thing that I got in the mail. It is tangentially book related because it is Twilight, so it checks out. Anyway, on to more exciting updates, probably. Let's talk about the reading that I've done since I last talked to you. First of all, and most importantly, probably, I finished Rewitched by Lucy Jane Wood, and I absolutely loved this, honestly. I don't think it's a 5-star. I've gone like back and forth on whether or not I want to give this 5 stars. I feel like I've been very stingy with my 5 stars this year. I think I've only given out like 7, perhaps, and I've read like 100 books this year so far, maybe, so I still think I want to continue to be stingy though, because like I know those books that I gave 5 stars are the cream of the crop, you know? And while I loved this book a lot, I don't know if it's quite at the level of the others, but like I still really, really enjoyed it. So like, I don't know. Basically, as for like how the rest of the plot went in this book, basically, you know, Belle did not pass her Equewitch trials, but they ended up finding this like loophole that if she mastered like these 6 other types of magic and the grimoire accepted the spells that she did for it, she could in turn keep her magic, but she only has a month to do so. So the beginning of this book takes place on the 1st of October, and then she has until Halloween to like do that. And honestly, I love any sort of like autumnal October book that gives somebody a deadline like that. It's like you have until midnight on Halloween to like break the curse or like whatever. I just think stuff like that is so fun. But I really like the plot of this one overall. I also feel like there were a couple of plot twists going on as well, which I really enjoyed. I feel like it had like decently high stakes towards the end of the book, like nothing crazy, but like it definitely was very exciting. It was very cozy up until the end, and then it kind of like, you know, ramped up a bit, which I was definitely into, because I feel like it was like a good mix of everything. I feel like a book, you know, I love a cozy book, but I do feel like sometimes they are a bit boring, but I feel like this one like amped it up at the end enough to keep me engaged, and I really liked that. I also just really liked all of the characters that were brought into this book, because Belle ends up getting assigned a mentor, and he's not exactly in great standing with the coven, so they also assign her like, they called him a watchman, but he's basically just like there to make sure everything's going okay, to make sure she's safe around this mentor that she has, who kind of has a sordid past kind of thing. So he was kind of brought into it. Her mother also was in this book a lot, as well as her best friend Ariadne. And I just really enjoyed like the group of characters that we were following and how they were all kind of helping Belle in different ways throughout this time. I feel like that was kind of just like a nice way to be like, look, you have a great support system. Like, even though Belle's kind of going through it, she has like a really solid support system, which I liked a lot. But also, I think my favorite thing about this book, honestly, is the message behind it, which is like the reason I wanted to pick this book up, because it focuses a lot on how much Belle is struggling in the beginning of this book in like her personal life, her work life, her magic life, like everything's kind of a mess, you know? And I feel like the book kind of highlights the fact that literally nobody has it together, and we're all kind of a mess sometimes. And I just think that's a really nice reminder sometimes, honestly, because just looking out, it may seem like everybody around you has their life together, but in reality, like, nobody has it together. Which I just feel like is a really nice message that a lot of people need to hear sometimes, myself included. I feel like all of that is also exacerbated by the fact that Belle recently turned 30, which is obviously a very big milestone for a lot of people. Not for any, like, good reason, it's really just, like, a societal pressure that a lot of people kind of feel as they're approaching 30. I mean, I'm 24, so like, I'm not there yet. But like, turning 30 is like a huge thing for people when like, it really shouldn't be, you know? So I feel like this book is also kind of touching on that a little bit and kind of, you know, talking about the fact that nobody's life really is how they would have imagined it being when they were younger. I feel like my life is certainly different than I imagined it being when I was younger, and like, not even in a bad way. It's just very different, and I feel like that's very normal. Like, I had plans. I had so many plans when I was in high school that those did not happen. But that's okay, and that's just the way that life works, and I feel like it's really beautiful in that way, that you never really know where your life is going. But yeah, I feel like this book just kind of hit on all of those kind of topics really well, which I really liked. I also just really liked the kind of witchy magic things that were going on in this book. Obviously, I mentioned earlier that I really liked all of these small ways that Belle was using magic in her life, and that did kind of persist throughout the book. But I also really like seeing some of the more substantial things that you can do with magic in this world, and Belle kind of had to do a little bit of everything because that's how this like loophole 30 days to keep your magic deal went, which I thought was cool. And this book was just really good, honestly. Like, I know it takes place in October, but I would recommend you still pick it up even now if it sounds interesting, because I don't really think it feels like a Halloween book. I feel like it's just kind of an autumnal book that you should pick up. So I'm really happy that I decided to pick this up now, because initially I was gonna save it until next October, but now I'm not gonna do it. Well, obviously I'm not gonna do that because I already read it. I don't know what I'm saying. I would recommend you pick it up right now if you want to, because it's just a good fall book, you know? So I loved this a lot, honestly. Still not enough to be a 5-star, but I still really, really liked it. So Yeah, and for a debut novel, I'm a big fan, and I will be reading whatever Lucy Jane Wood writes next. Also, can we talk about the cover again? Because I'm so obsessed with this cover. I feel like the book delivers on the cozy vibes, the cover delivers on the cozy vibes. Like, I just want this. This window. I want a little window seat. I can read with my cat. I don't even need the magic, honestly, because that's not happening. But, like, I just love it so much. I also loved it, like, the little bookstore setting that was going on, too. It was so good. Honestly, like, my only complaint is that I feel like the villains in this story are a little bit cartoonish, but I don't even care. Like, that's, like, the one thing throughout this book that I was like, I didn't love that. But the rest of it, so good. But moving on from that, I do have another update because I did start another book yesterday, which I'm also really, really loving, because I started The Scholar in the Last Fairy Door. I'm currently on page, like, 110, maybe? And this has also been so good so far. It's been a minute since I've picked up some historical fantasy, but I love it already because it takes place in 1920. It's a little bit later than I normally like to read, you know, like normally I go for like Victorian and Wardian kind of vibes, but obviously I'm cool with this too. Anyway, basically, to tell you guys what this is about, we are following our main character Clover, who lives in this very small town, I think somewhere in northern UK, I'm not 100% sure. But the beginning of the book takes place like right before World War I happens and like people are going off to war, and her older brother Matthew ends up enlisting, so he's gone for a while, and you know, they're not really sure if he's gonna come back, but when he finally does come back, he's fine. Almost. Because one day when he was on the battlefield, he ended up getting struck by a fairy curse. And basically, this curse makes it so that every pagan holiday, from like sunset to sunrise, he gets essentially possessed by a fairy. So Clover and her mother have to like tie him up so he doesn't like escape and go get lost in the fairylands, basically. Which, that on its own is like a really cool concept. But that's mainly just the catalyst for what's happening in this book, because based on like what's happened to her brother, Clover really, really wants to help. So she ends up kind of dabbling a little bit in the magic that is present in this world. Normally, like, magic isn't really a thing that lower class people can do. It's mainly contained to like the upper sect of society. But she is incredibly determined to learn magic and help her brother out, basically. So in an attempt to do that, she ends up getting admitted to Camford, which is like this secret magical academy. Nobody really knows where it is, but there are like entrances to it from both Oxford and Cambridge, hence why it's called Camford. I love a secret magical academy. Okay, like, I'm always into it, but basically as the book progresses, we see Clover kind of fall in with this group of students who are very wealthy. She's definitely not very wealthy, so at first she's kind of like, why are you talking to me? But as things progress, she kind of learns what their motivations are and how they are very intertwined with her own, and how they want to like dig more into the magic in the society that they're not necessarily being taught at school. I feel like it kind of has like a dark academia vibe to it almost. It definitely is not dark academia, but like in the way that some things are presented and like in how mysterious and under wraps the magic is kept in this world, it kind of gives me that vibe a little bit. Like the very end of the first chapter, I was like, this feels like it could be the ending to like the first chapter of a dark academia book. Because the first chapter focuses on the initial meeting of Clover and like all of these people. It cuts to almost Clover from like later in life, kind of like looking back on things a little bit, which I think is a really interesting choice. And it says, that was how it started. The four of us. We never meant any harm. Like, how ominous is that? Like, that's such a mysterious opening to a book, and I was hooked. I was like, I have to know, like, what they do. So I really just liked the kind of opening to this book, and I've just been really enjoying the book as it has progressed, obviously. I absolutely love H.G. Perry's writing. I feel like it's nothing too, like, flowery or crazy, but like it's just really nice. I've also really enjoyed that a couple of times it's kind of switched to second person, which I wasn't expecting, but when I got to it, I was like, this is kind of cool. I wish I had marked what part it was because I can't remember what I was talking about, but it was just like, it felt very seamless almost. I feel like normally if somebody were to tell me that it like randomly switched to second person, in like the middle of a chapter, I'd be like, that's kind of weird. But I feel like it really fit this story well, and I just liked those parts, so I'm hoping it does that more. But overall, I'm loving this so far, and I think I have the potential to continue loving it. It definitely is different from what I was expecting it to be, but I think in a good way. So I definitely plan on doing a lot more reading today. I would like to make a decent amount of progress just because I'm very excited to read some more of this. Also, my camera's about to die, so I'm gonna change the battery and I'll be back. So yes, reading is a big plan that I have for the day, but I also do want to watch a movie this afternoon because I was looking through my list of like goals that I made at the beginning of the year for 2024, and I am so desperately slacking on those. Like, it's real sad. I don't think I've done any of them. Maybe one. I might have done one. But I was looking back through them and I realized one of my goals was to watch a new Studio Ghibli movie that I've never watched before, so I decided that one seems easy enough. I'll do that. So I went to the library to pick up Castle in the Sky. Is this the first Ghibli movie? I feel like I could be wrong, but I've been wanting to watch it for quite a while. So I think I'm gonna do that this afternoon while I play some Animal Crossing because I am still obsessed with Animal Crossing, honestly. I thought I would show you guys a couple of the things that I've done on my island since I last talked about it because I feel like it's been a while since I last talked about Animal Crossing. So I'm gonna keep you guys updated. I've also gotten some fun villagers recently, which I'm so excited about. I've decided I want to commit to having a whole cat island. That's really what I want. I want a bunch of cat villagers. I have 3, I think, because I have Bob, Lolly, and Rudy. I just recently got Rudy and he's so cute. All right, recently I made a little apple and cherry orchard, which I think is very cute. I'm honestly kind of obsessed with this. I also don't know if I showed you my like book slash newspaper slash... Wait, no, Rudy. No, Rudy, he just asked me to move out. Absolutely not. I literally 5 seconds ago, I was talking about how I love him. I can't believe this. I'm so glad that I can tell them no. Because he can't go. Anyway, I also made like a little newspaper book stand thing, moving on from that drama. I can't believe that. And then the last like notable thing I suppose that I've done is I made like a little flower plant stand area shop, whatever this is, like in the back corner of my island. So if you wanted a little Animal Crossing update, there's how things are going. I still can't believe that Rudy asked me to move out like 5 seconds after I was hyping him up. What was I talking about? Right, I'm gonna watch Castle in the Sky while I play some Animal Crossing just because I desperately need to work on my 2024 goals. I definitely will not be able to complete them all, but that's fine. But I do want to work on some of them. Literally, I don't know what I was on though when I was making these goals. Because one of them was to knit a sweater. When I had no previous knitting experience, I had never knit anything before in my life. I didn't even know how to knit, and I put that on my 2024 goals. I don't know what I was doing, honestly. So maybe I'll have to scrap that as an overall goal, but I'm thinking I might replace it with the smaller, more manageable goal of just like learning the knitting basics, you know? And I think that'll very much be possible thanks to the sponsor of today's video, which is Skillshare. So thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. If you guys don't know, Skillshare is an online learning community full of thousands of different classes that you can possibly take in so many different subjects that are led by industry professionals. Also, since it is now officially November, it is officially cozy season. It is kind of the perfect time to maybe pick up a new hobby or improve a skill that you already have. So to help me on my journey to learn the knitting basics, I found this course, which is aptly named Knitting Basics, which is led by Amandine Thomas. As I said, I don't know anything about knitting. Absolutely nothing. So this class really goes over all the basics, like how to choose the correct tools, how to knit, purl, cast on, cast off, lingo, all the stuff you could possibly need to know. It's got it. It also has a very simple class project of knitting a scarf, which I tried to knit a scarf earlier this year and I gave up on it. But maybe this will give me the motivation I need to persevere. But if knitting isn't exactly your thing, they do have so many other course subjects that you could check out, such as photography, illustration, DIYs. They also recently added some courses on creative careers and creative inspiration that you could check out. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, I will definitely leave a link to Skillshare down in the description, and the first 500 people that click that link will get their first month of Skillshare for free. That is a whole month of learning a new skill that you could potentially love. So thank you again so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this video and supporting me and my channel, and to you guys watching this video as well for always supporting me and my channel. I appreciate you all more than you could possibly ever know, so just thank you. But with that, let's get into the rest of this very chill Sunday. I'm going to do some reading. I'm going to watch Castle in the Sky. I'm also gonna take down my Halloween decorations. I'm so sad. But it is like the 10th of November, so they do need to go. Doesn't mean I have to be happy about it, but they do need to go. So I'm just gonna like get into doing all of that, and I will chat to you guys later. Contacts out, so I cannot see anything, but hello. I thought I would do a more like casual update tonight while I get ready for bed. I'm not getting ready to go to sleep because it's only like 7 o'clock, but I just want to do a casual update. Mainly because I just finished watching Castle in the Sky and it was so good. Like, I absolutely loved it. And I just wanted to come on and talk about it because like I'm so thrilled about that. I truly just like picked it up on a whim because I didn't really have a specific Ghibli movie that I was wanting to watch. I was like, you know, any of them will be fine. And like Castle in the Sky was on my list, but like not for any particular reason. I was just kind of like, all right, this one will work. And I absolutely loved it. Like, it is one of my new favorite Ghibli movies. I wouldn't say it's my favorite because hardly anything is going to be able to outrank Howl's Moving Castle. But this is like my number 2 now, which is crazy because I just didn't think I was going to like, well, I didn't think I was gonna not like it, but I didn't think I would like it quite as much as I did. So yeah, I'm just so happy. Like, it's one of my favorite movies that I've watched so far this year. I just feel like it's very action and plot forward as opposed to like how the rest of a lot of Ghibli movies are. And I love them for that reason, don't get me wrong. Like, I love the no plot, just vibes nature of some of the Ghibli movies, like especially like My Neighbor Totoro, Kiki's Delivery Service. Like, they do kind of have a plot, but for the most part, it's kind of just about the vibes. But I feel like this one had like a very clear plot. I really enjoyed it. I feel like there was a lot of action. I feel like it was really fast paced. And I just like, I loved the characters. I also loved the scenery so much. Like, when they finally got to the castle in the sky, not to spoil anything, but like, it's called Castle in the Sky, so I'm gonna assume you might have been able to figure out that that was coming. But oh my god, it was just so beautiful. And I'm like, imagine being able to craft like these illustrations because they were so stunning. It definitely just gave me the same feeling that I got when I was watching Howl's Moving Castle, which is a very special feeling, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was just in awe, honestly, of the visuals of that movie. It was so pretty. And oh, I also love the score. It was so good. And I'm just so happy. Like, nothing truly can touch a Ghibli movie, just like in general, but especially like a really good one. I was just so happy. I'm so happy that I finally watched it, and I wanted to share that excitement with you guys because it's definitely like a new favorite movie of mine. I just ordered the DVD because I love having the DVDs of like my favorite movies and such. I don't have many, but I did decide that I wanted to get that one, and it's on the way. So honestly, that was a solid way to spend my afternoon. I did not I did not play any Animal Crossing because as soon as I turned the movie on, I was like, there's no way I'm gonna spend this movie like staring at my Switch, you know? Like, I don't know why I thought that was gonna work, but literally as soon as I put it on, I was entranced. I was like, I need to watch it with my eyes. It needs my full attention, you know? Will these please open? I'm breaking out, so I'm gonna put some pimple patches on. These, I like these. They're pretty good. But yeah, I have a massive whitehead on my what's this called? Forehead. It's impairing my ability to think. It's so large. But definitely need to, well, I can't see anything. I took my contacts out and my mirror's too far away. Hang on. I feel like this is a very casual update. I don't really do casual updates like this. But I was just kind of feeling it tonight. All right. There we go. I also have these two, which is also not fun. I mean, I used to struggle with acne a lot more than I do now, and I'm very thankful for the fact that it's gotten better, but like having 3 at the same time, sad times. Anyway, maybe I should also give you guys a reading update because I have done some reading today. I was just about to, you know, look for my bookmark in this, but it has been snatched out of my book. This bookmark was in this book 5 minutes ago, but I went to wash my face and apparently Winnie came in. I can't stand her sometimes. But I have read some of The Scholar and the Last Fairy Door. I think I'm on like page 170. Perhaps. So I've really made some progress in this, right? And I'm continuing to absolutely love this, honestly. I feel like I've been consuming so much good media this weekend. It's crazy. But I'm so happy for that. I'm gonna take these off. I only ever wear these to get my bangs out of my face. But I don't have like a ton to say about it, honestly, but I thought I would just let you know that I have read a little bit more of it, and as the book has progressed, we're definitely seeing more and more of like where the story exactly is going to go and what our characters are trying to accomplish, and it makes all of the like ominous remarks that have been made so far throughout this book worry me a lot. Like, I'm very interested to see just how this book is going to progress because I'm getting the vibe that a lot of the things that our characters are trying to do are probably gonna backfire. So I'm a little scared to see how it ends. This book really isn't what I was thinking it was going to be because I was thinking it would kind of focus more on the Fae, and so far like 170 pages and we definitely haven't gotten that yet, but that is for good reason because in this world, I believe the doors to like fairy country, I think is how it's referred to in this book, have been shut due to some accords that have been put in place, but because the doors to fairy country are shut, it makes it really hard to communicate with the Fae, obviously, and one of the only ways that Clover has kind of figured out that she can possibly help her brother is to talk to a fairy, and I'm just like, something bad's gonna happen because obviously she's trying to make contact with one, and you know, they've been kind of trying to do that very secretly. Obviously this is like very not an okay thing to do, and a lot of people would try to put a stop to it, but you know, naturally they're gonna try and do it anyway. I'm just thinking something bad's gonna happen. But I definitely want to figure out what that bad thing is, so I will be doing that. I will probably definitely be reading some more of this tonight. I do need to edit an entire video tonight, which I have been putting off, shockingly enough, but I will also be doing some reading, probably. I'll probably FaceTime Cass, bother her a little bit, see what's up. So yeah, that's all I have to say for this update. Honestly, like, I really just wanted to come on and tell you that Castle in the Sky was so freaking good. I loved it so much. Also, I googled it and it is in fact not the first Ghibli movie. I don't know what I was thinking because like I was definitely aware of the fact that Nausicaa was the first Ghibli movie, but she slipped my mind for the time being. But Castle in the Sky is the second one. Came out in 1986 and it definitely has like a very 80s vibe to it. Like I heard some synth music going on in there. I feel like if you watch something from the 80s, you can't escape the synth music. Like I watched The Dead Poets Society a couple of nights ago for the first time as well, and it takes place in like the late 50s. But it was filmed in the 80s and there's still synth music going on in the background, which I just thought was funny. Anyway, I'm gonna go. Tomorrow morning is probably when I will, you know, do a little bit more filming. I want to do my November reading journal setup because now that I've finished a book, I actually have a reason to, you know, use it, so I'd like to have that all set up. As I said, I'm going to be doing an over the garden wall theme. It probably won't look super different from the one that I did last year, but we'll keep that between you and I. Unless you haven't seen it, then don't go look at it, and then it'll be something new. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I feel like I'm in a very chatty mood tonight, so I think I need to stop recording this before I yap for too long, so I will see you guys tomorrow. Good morning, everybody. It is a Tuesday morning. It's like 9 o'clock-ish, maybe, but I'm here for the very last day of the vlog. I'm not, like, ending the vlog right now. Today's gonna be the last day, but I do have some reading that I still want to do before the end of the vlog. I also want to go to the library later and do a little bit of reading there as well, so I'm just here to give you a quick reading update before I do all of that, basically. Also, in other not reading but Animal Crossing news, I finally got the DLC, the Happy Home Paradise, and I'm loving it. Not for the like decorating people's vacation homes, because it was fun at first, but like now I don't care. But I love that it gives you a wider selection of like things to buy, so that's mainly why I got it. And I have gotten a few things already, which I'm very excited about. But yeah, I did that. I also listened to the audiobook for this a little bit while I was doing that, and I liked that. It was a good combo. But I have read quite a bit of this book since the last time I talked to you, so we need to chat about it. So I am now on page 370 something. I think I have like 50 pages left. And I just made it up to part 4. And I wanted to stop at part 4. I made it there last night, but I wanted to stop because I think it's going to be very different from the first couple parts of this book, and I'm very excited about that because I think it's going to finally give me what I really want from this book, and that is fae. I feel like the first part of this book really focuses on the concept of fairy doors, how to open them, why they're still closed, and also like the lasting impacts of things that the fae have done. But thus far you haven't really gotten to see any fae yet, which I've really been wanting from a book called The Scholar and the Last Fairy Door. Like, I've really enjoyed this book so far. I do think it's kind of lost me like just slightly. I'm not liking it quite as much as I was liking it, but I'm still really enjoying it. But the one thing that I really want from this book is more fae. You know what I'm saying? So based on some things that have gone down, I'm thinking that is what the 4th part of this book is going to offer me, and I'm very excited to get into that. So I wanted to stop there and kind of like start it fresh this morning. But as for like how the rest of this book has gone, I think it's really interesting because this book does have quite a substantial time jump in it, which I wasn't expecting, because in the first part of the book, it's very like dark academia kind of, not even just vibes. I know I said earlier that this book wasn't dark academia, and at the time I wasn't thinking it was, but I think it definitely is. It definitely explores like the typical themes that a lot of dark academia books do. It follows our main character who definitely kind of feels like an outsider, getting a glimpse into this more like glamorous and elite world of magic that she's never really had access to before. You definitely see them in class. You kind of see this tight-knit group of, you know, friends who maybe are dabbling in something that they shouldn't be dabbling in. So I think it definitely does have like the dark academia kind of staples that you would expect. So I definitely think like the first part of this book is very much that. And I very much like that because I like a dark academia story. I like the way that it's done in this one because I haven't really seen a dark academia book with fae before. But I was just really enjoying how all of that was kind of mashed together, and I just loved the first part of this book. But the second part of this book is kind of not that, because there's a 9-year time jump. So you go from following our characters when they're really young to when they are in their like late 20s or so. And I do like that because you can really see how much the dynamic of this friend group has changed over time and who they become as people. You can definitely see like things are starting to get a little bit messy in the beginning of the book, and kind of seeing it continue to get messy and seeing how things have really turned out for all our characters in the end, I have found very interesting. But I just haven't really enjoyed the plot of the second part of this book quite as much as I enjoyed it in the first part. However, I must say I'm incredibly impressed at the way that the stakes have just like slowly gotten so much higher as this book has gone on, which isn't really what I was expecting, because I feel like a lot of dark academia books feel very small scale, you know, because like it just focuses on this friendship group and like the tragedies that have happened to this friendship group. And this book has that. And in the beginning of the book, it kind of just focuses on the more like small scale problems that are going on in our characters' lives due to the impacts of the war. But as the book progresses, the stakes just get so unbelievably high, and our characters still very much play a large part of like this insane thing that has started to go on in the world. And I really liked that. It's just not what I was expecting from this book, especially based on like the beginning, but like it makes sense that this is where the story would go, especially because we started off the book by focusing on World War I and how the Fae kind of got involved in that a little bit, and obviously that's like a very large scale thing, so I think it makes sense that this is where the story would go, but it just wasn't what I was anticipating. But I'm liking that too. I just feel like my problem with this book is that it's a little bit long almost. It's like 450 pages, so like it's not crazy. But after they left Camford, I just feel like the plot has dragged like very slightly, so I'm not really liking it quite as much as I was. So basically, there are things about this book that I like. There are a couple of things about this book that I don't 100% love, but overall I'm having a pretty decent time, and I do want to finish it up today. That's for sure. Like I said, I want to go to the library to do a little bit of reading because I haven't gone to the library in a while to do some reading, so I feel like that'll be nice. I might also take Sword Heart with me and start it because I was really excited about starting Sword Heart, but I'm certainly not going to finish it in this video, but I might start it, give you guys some initial thoughts and whatnot. Maybe. We'll see. Anyway, that's kind of my only plan for today, is to do some reading. I'll probably also play more Animal Crossing if we're being honest, but that's uninteresting. So I'm going to go to the library in a little bit and I will talk to you guys later. So I'm back. I've returned from the library. I'm here to end off the video, but obviously I need to give you guys my final reading updates and such before we can do so. Also, I did pick up a movie from the library, which I'm very excited about because I picked up The Wind Rises, which is gonna be the next Ghibli movie that I watch, obviously. I'm thinking I might watch it tomorrow, just because watching Castle in the Sky went so well. My interest in watching, like, all of the Studio Ghibli movies has been reinvigorated a little bit, so I've been wanting to watch this one specifically for a while, so I figured why not. I also think this is like a little bit later than the other Ghibli movies that I've seen, because this is from like 2014, I think. And I think like the latest Ghibli movie that I've seen is Howl's Moving Castle, which came out in 2004, so you know, something newer. I'm interested to see if the animation looks literally any different. I don't know, but I'm excited. I'm very excited about this one. This seems like a solid plan for tomorrow, so that'll be really fun. But while I was at the library, I also finished up a book. I also started a book, so we'll talk about it. First of all, I finished up The Scholar and the Last Fairy Door, and I actually, like, the last part of this book didn't exactly go how I thought it was going to, but the direction that it did go, I really, really liked. Like, I loved the conclusion to this book, honestly. I feel like there was just a little bit of time in the middle of the book where I wasn't, like, super jazzed about, like, the pacing and the things that were going on, but I really loved how this book concluded. There were a couple of pieces of information that were dropped at the end of this book that had me gagged, honestly. I was like, you're joking, no way. Literally while I was sitting there, I think it's in the B-roll, you can see a moment where that happens. So like, I really enjoyed that and how it like tied into the end of the book, I suppose. I also, even though this book didn't involve the Fae in like a super like, not a huge way because it does involve the Fae in a huge way, but you don't see the Fae very frequently. You do see them, they do show up, but like it's not quite to the extent that I was thinking it was, which initially I was kind of like, oh man, like I'm kind of sad about that. I wish there were more of them being in the immediate story. But now that I've thought about it a little bit, I kind of like the fact that they're not super prevalent in like the actual story. They're kind of just like this looming outside threat kind of, which I think is an interesting way to do it. I also just really liked the kind of themes that this book touched on overall, because it definitely has like the very typical kind of dark academia themes of classism in academia and how that can lead to like just huge wide expansive problems. And I just really liked the way that that was talked about in this book and exemplified. I liked our main characters. I liked the kind of dynamic between all four of them, because as the book progresses, even as they get into like being adults, it obviously continues to be incredibly messy, but I really enjoyed being able to follow them from, you know, their very first meeting to where we end up at the end of this book. And I feel like that really enhanced the reading experience a little bit because you got to see them kind of grow, mature, and develop, but still have these really messy dynamics that have been present from the start. So yeah, I just thought this was like a really cool book. I really, really enjoyed it, and honestly, I would consider rereading it at some point. Like, I don't think it's a 5-star book, but I would reread this because I really liked it, and I thought it was very well done. So yeah, very excited that I picked this up and I read it. I would definitely recommend this book if you guys are looking for like a new dark academia fantasy kind of thing. I thought it was really cool. But then after I finished that at the library, I did very briefly start Sword Heart. I am like 25 pages into it, so I do not have a substantial update for you guys, but from the 25 pages that I've read, I am enjoying it immensely, honestly. If I don't like this book, I'm gonna cry because first 25 pages, I just feel like I'm really, really going to like this. So I will talk about it more in my next vlog because I would definitely be reading the rest of this in my next vlog. I'm gonna start filming it in like a couple days. So if you want to hear my thoughts on it, I will be reading it then, but I'm so excited because so far it is incredibly promising. But anyway, that's the reading that I did today. And now we have arrived at the end of the vlog. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. Obviously I read 2 stunning books in this video. I think I started a 3rd one. I also watched a great movie this weekend as well. So I'm just like swimming in the good content right now, you know? So I really hope you guys enjoyed watching this video as well. Obviously I would love to know down below, have you read any of the books that I read in this vlog, whether that be either of these, or if you've read Rewitched. I don't want to go get it, but like if you read that one too, let me know. Also, before we go, I would again like to thank Skillshare so much for sponsoring this video. Don't forget you can use the link down in my description, and the first 500 people that use that link will get their first month of Skillshare for free. I would also like to thank everybody over on my Patreon as well. If you guys want any more content from me, that is always linked down below. But with that, I'm gonna go. I hope you all are having an amazing Monday or whatever day it is you're watching this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!